Gunshots. There's gunshots outside. Ah.
Oh, it is working actually, which is
It's
a
working?
nice change of pace. Yeah, this is good.
What do you mean? What is it?
Yeah, we're actually, because I have to connect it differently from when we go live on
Oh,
this
wow.
channel. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Hi everyone. Hi. That's cool. What's up? What's up, everyone? It is Justin with IsItScary, Wisconsin, joined here by my good friend Gage, and tonight we're talking haunts. Everything from the most scared we've ever been in a haunted house to if we could build our own haunted house to what we think is
Whatever comes up.
Yeah, what we think is the most important part of a haunted house, which I think is, kind of a important issue considering we talk haunts all the time. Gage, let's jump into it. What's the most scared you've ever been in a haunted house?
All right.
Waiting in line for all those hours. Oh,
that is very traumatic.
yeah.
Actually, the funny part is that could be the scariest part of the haunt because it's the anticipation. Until you get that first scare in, then you're like, oh, all right, I'm good. It's like what people that play football do. They get the shakes, and then as soon as they get their first hit or sack or whatever, they're good to go.
Touchdown, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as they get that out of the way.
Yep.
But this most scared I've ever been, of course, anyone's gonna say when they were a child and they're going through a haunted house, and that's what I want to say because honestly, that's the God honest truth. But if I'd have to say the scariest, it's a toss up between going through Scare USA the first time and Commando Paintball.
Was Scare USA the first time you went through it? Was that when they had the big tall guy that was that
the one,
for him? Yeah.
The one I never shut up about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to say those were the most scariest times for me. I can't think of anything else there. Other than that, this kind of stone face and things. I mean, yeah, I can count some jump scares, but I mean that's pretty much in almost every other haunt. I'm gonna say someone jumped out and spooked me once, and then. But if you could spook me again, that's when I would say you got me good.
Yeah.
But what about you?
So I had I was just getting ready to go into I think it was college or whatever, or I was halfway through college or something, and we're all sitting around one night and my buddy's like, hey, let's go to a haunted house. They got that Green Bay Fear. And so we went over to the Green Bay Fear haunted house, and I hadn't been there in forever. And I'm like, everybody knows I'm afraid of the dark. I'm not secretive about it. It's not like, oh, Justin's afraid of the dark. I didn't know that. I can't believe I tell everybody that I don't like it. I'm definitely afraid of it. And so we go to Green Bay Fear, and they had at the time, I forget exactly what they had set up or how they had it set up.
Mm-hmm.
But they had the shaking chains with the glow in the dark Jason masks on them and the blinking lights.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen those before too when I was younger.
And it was creepy.
Keep talking, and this is just going to Instagram, correct?
And it scared the shit out of me because I never did stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's once you realize that they can't touch you or they can't really, do anything. It's okay, no big deal or anything. But I don't know. It kind of stuck with me. And that's been kind of one of the, as I go back and I kind of go through things over the years as we talk haunts and stuff, that's kind of been one of those scares that's really stuck with me good.
I think we went to the same, haunt around the same time because I remember being younger and going through there and singing the hanging Michael Myers, not Michael Myers, hockey mask.
The chains with the masks, yeah. And they had an actor in there too doing scares, and it was really
but
good.
Younger me was hiding in my mom's coat.
Yeah, for
I
sure, for
wasn't
sure.
looking. I love how we were both little bitches going into that stuff, but now as we get older, this is no problem. But I mean, anyone could honestly say that. At least most people. This is me being stupid. When I say we're live, is it WE? Then the little thing on the top
Yeah,
there, RE.
it's weird. WE''RE. Yeah,
Okay, all right. I'm
not
posting.
were like we were live.
Yeah, I guess we're live.
We're live. We were live. So yeah, that was. I mean, and that one always stuck with me, you know. And I always give credit to Green Bay Fear for that because, I mean, look at how much they've grown now over the years.
Oh, dude, it is crazy to see the growth. Cause when you went, do you remember? Do you remember like it was just you buy your tickets, and now it's on the other side. It's how you look at the parking lot of Beja Shriner. It's like an L, pretty much.
Yeah, you used to.
And
So you
yeah,
used to
instead of
go.
going this way,
You
you
used to
went towards the
go in
road.
over by the woods. Yeah, and you used to
Yeah,
line
over
up,
by the
and you
road,
went to the house first. I remember
just
that.
straight to the house, and then out.
Yeah. Yep, I
Did they
remember
have
that.
a big TV screen on the side by any
I
chance? You
think
remember that?
so. I'm not 100 on that, dude. You got to remember, man. That was right before I was going into, or right when I got out of college. So you got to remember, bro. That's some time ago, dude. This, that's like a man. That's a. Whew.
No, that was me. That had been 2012, 20 around there. I
Yeah, I
remember
was gonna
that.
say it's over 10 years ago minimum. It's
Maybe
minimum.
we were there at the same night. It
Yeah,
might
I
have
mean,
been destined.
it's very possible that you and I have met like before you ever worked for me. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, something I want to talk about tonight. I don't know how long the stream's gonna go. Probably maybe around that
Just
40,
around an hour.
maybe around that 45 to an hour mark. But one thing I want to talk about is something that I believe is the most important part of a haunt. I mean, other than your scares, your actors, making sure everything's in working order, obviously that stuff's got to come first. You know what I mean? Because we talk about it all the time, right? The actors make the haunts. You got to make sure your scares are timed right. You got to make sure everything else is done as it's supposed to be done. There's one thing that I don't think gets enough credit that needs more credit, and that is the ticket booth. I think the ticket booth is one of the most important and underappreciated parts of the haunted house.
It's obviously it's the first thing you see going into 99% of the haunts. It should almost be an appetizer instead of an admission, is what I think it needs to be. You know,
I was thinking about this the other day. How many times have I gone through a haunt? Get your tickets, have fun,
thanks,
have
bye.
fun, have fun, have fun. That does not set the pace. That does not set the standard. That does not set anything for me to look at that and go, okay, thanks. It doesn't get me engaged, involved, excited, any of that stuff. That gets me going, is this a haunted house? Or am I paying to watch you sit here and look pissed off? The ticket booth can convey so many things. Obviously, your price of admission, your rules, what the haunt goer should expect, touch, no touch, age, PG-13, PG for all audiences, R, more adult themed.
Hi, Bree. Bree's here.
For me, when I go to the ticket booth,
Mm-hmm.
your job is to get my attention and get me excited. Right? Or to keep my, what's that word? To keep my anticipation building. Right, Gage? You were talking about that before. Anticipation is a big one. And sometimes we'll be driving to a haunt like Revenge. And I know you and I are like giddy in the car the whole way, right?
We act like squirrels. Hey,
we are.
hey, Mr. Funko Pops, thanks for stopping by.
We do. We get really, really excited.
Yeah,
right?
you just see me drive like, let's go.
Yeah, we get super excited. And we get there and we get to the booth and there's the lady at the booth, sells us our ticket, gets us in, and her energy is there. Oh, thank you guys for stopping by tonight. We're really excited for this season. Make sure you guys let us know what you think. You know, they're gonna scare you in there. They're gonna mess with you. You know,
I do like that, yeah.
So she's in theme the entire time. You got little hats for sale, little merch for sale. Got the big knife thing on.
Which should be a custom for every ticket booth, you ask me.
And everything's all themed, right? It's business. Business is business. Let's be real. And so they do all that. We go into the first room. And now, instead of walking up to the ticket booth, anticipation, and we get to the ticket booth, and it's like a stone wall. It just dies. That's not the way it is. You get to the ticket booth, and they're building your anticipation now. They're getting you excited. You're there at the ticket booth. They're selling you your ticket. Try not to die, guys. They're gonna kill you in there, and they're
gonna fucking slaughter you.
But they keep that going, right? They don't let that anticipation die. Hey, thanks for coming out to Bumfuck Nowhere's haunted house. Glad to have you. Have fun. You know, it's that arguably is one of the most important moments, if you ask me. One thing Tara on the Fox does well. I know, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
He said it! Oh my god!
I can't believe it. One thing they do well is the person at their ticket booth is always good energy and they're always on point and they know what they're doing. They get you in, they get you through. All right, regular admission, go to the left, fast pass, go through the middle, you know, and they have fun, try not to die. You know, they keep that in theme, right? Same thing.
Sometimes they have that guy behind it that scares the people coming out. Like you hear that. And
we went to Green Bay Fair recently, and we bought our tickets. And the ladies at the ticket booth, have fun, guys. You know, they're energetic, right? And then we didn't even get around the first corner, and here comes this actor, just stops right behind us and like just stares us down. The anticipation of arrival, what it's gonna be like. It just keeps building and building and building. That's business 101. That's haunts 101. And it is so damn important. I don't think it can be overstated. Another thing I wanted to mention was out of all the ticket booths, I actually think Green Bay Fears is set up the best. As much as it annoys me sometimes, because I can't really see how busy they are, whether or not I need to buy Fast Pass or not. I think theirs is set up the best because you can hear the sounds, right? You can hear Jingles singing. You can hear the chainsaws. You can hear the vroom, vroom. You can hear that stuff. You can hear the gong.
Is he picking his nose on live? Damn right I am. Keep going.
But you can't see anything. So now your head's playing tricks with you.
Do you remember back in 2016 or 17 when I mentioned that?
Yeah.
It was earlier. I said, "Do you think that's maybe a marketing strategy to make sure people?"
Yeah, I think it's absolutely genius
Hmm.
because it keeps that anticipation building and building and building and building. And now you're at the ticket booth. It was like, can I see in the haunt? You can't see in the haunt yet. And now you get to the walkway, and now they got that new structure there, so you can't even see the haunt yet till you get on the other side of this new walkway.
Let's stop by, Dax.
It's crazy, dude.
Hmm.
It's
We got
absolutely crazy to me when I see the effect that having a ticket booth positioned properly, manned properly, whether it's a man or a woman in there, or a pair or whatever, having people that are energetic and having people that are in theme, whether it's in costume, a scare actor behind it, a scare actor working the area, or having them say something like, thanks for coming out to get scared tonight, or they're gonna kill you in there. Like, it cannot be overstated. I think it is one of the most important parts of the haunt.
while we're on the topic of ticket booths, my favorite, I'd really have to say, I liked the Realm of Darknesses the first time we went. Now it's so out of the way, and it was that, and that's the only thing. That's the reason why I'm asking it's my top one, because I remember we're walking up. Where do we buy tickets? Where do we
Yeah,
go? So
yeah.
but they stepped it up. The year after, they moved the ticket booth more towards the sidewalk so that way you can just buy it and go, which was the smartest thing.
Well,
I'm glad they did.
my question would be, how pissed off would you be if you waited in that line for an hour and a half and then you had to step out to go buy tickets and you lost your spot? I'd be fucking.
Like you could have just put like a sign there saying go to tickets here. But again, they rectified it, so I'm not gonna dwell on that.
Yeah,
What
they
I do
fixed that.
want to say though is my favorite ticket booth, I'd have to say Revenges. I like the vibe of it. You walk up, you got the line to your left, so you can see everyone waiting. You see the big silo, you see the big dagger, which is the coolest fucking thing you ever asked me. And then you walk up, everything's all lit up, and you got someone running the check stand, and it's either the mom or
Yeah,
it's
the wife.
either
Yeah,
Tony's wife,
yeah, the wife or
and
the mom. Yeah.
yeah, they do a great job at it, and they keep it in theme is the best way you're
Yeah,
putting it.
and it's important.
Um,
It's very, very important. Business
one
from a
thing,
business aspect. From a business
yeah,
aspect.
I've thought of a cute, unique idea. Now, I think we're going to touch more on it later, so I should wait for that because we want to touch on this subject. If you could you may not own, but if you could build a haunted house and buy on the top with money not being a problem. Now, I understand that is a problem for a lot of people, but this is make fucking believe is what we're doing. So, if I want to do one for a ticket booth, I want to, keep that normal, two windows. Here's your ticket. Don't die in there, like you said. Keep the mood up.
Yeah.
And I want there to be a little button. I want there to be a little button on whoever takes the tickets. I mean, whoever gives the tickets, and when they press it, a little jump scare happens on the window. Now I know this is pretty high tech, and that tech I'm thinking about is I don't know what it's called, but it's like a see-through glass, and then when you press something, the glass then like changes to a video or something.
Yeah.
And some sides of computers have it. If any gaming geeks out there would know what I mean. But I think that'd be cool. You hand your ticket, and they press a button, and here's just a shitty little skeleton jump scare that comes right at your face.
Yeah.
That would scare the shit out of me because when I'm buying tickets, I never expect to be scared.
Well, my thing would be like, one thing that I would love to see people do more, and it's the dumbest thing, right? Get a little prop skeleton arm and have like a little like thing you turn in there, and when you turn it, the skeleton arm like shoots up, and have it grab somebody when they're reaching for their ticket. I mean, it's so dumb, but dude, you'll scare so many people with that.
That kind of reminds me of the good old fashioned like trick or treating, and there's like a hand in the bucket, And I remember being a little kid trying to reach around the hands, like I don't want it to grab me. It's going to
Yeah,
kill me.
it's the same
Kind of thing.
it's the same exact concept. It's the exact same concept.
It is. You know, if we could make our own house, I've seen these TikTok videos of this haunt that does some crazy fucking shit. I want to go to this haunt at some point, but I know with your schedule, it's never going to
Of
happen.
course not.
But it's some haunt somewhere. I forgot where it was. But they have the craziest shit. What they would do is it's so interactive. It's over the top interactivity. And what I mean by that is they have a room where you sit in a circle and everyone they got like little like roller coaster stoppers on to keep you guarded in.
Mm.
And it gives you a little button prompt. Who should get shot today or something like that? Who should get put down or shot, whatever. And whenever you press a button, it picks who that person is, and a little laser from whoever pressed it will point towards that person. Whoever has the most votes gets shot. Now, again, I can see a big health reason there and a big liability for you and I talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
There's that. There's also a bunch of things where people are crawling through. They got some other ones where they've had legitimate real cockroaches in it. They've had real garbage in there, and they've had it for a decade in there. It's nasty, and people throw up in there a lot. And sometimes they keep the throw up in there. That sounds pretty biohazardy to me. And one other room, they have a room that slowly rotates that you walk into. I'm just thinking, holy shit, how do they get away with this? How are they not sued yet with all this stuff? But they somehow do it. I want to go to this damn haunt. It drives me nuts. If I could set up a haunt, I would almost want to do it almost just like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the interactivity, right? Well, like we even talked about it last year when we were going through Revenge, and they had the girls in the cloud room, and they had us throw in the little rings, throw in the little plastic rings on like the ring toss game, and that was I thought that was cool. It was a nice break from the haunt, right? So you go up, throw a ring. Hey, I mean, I was perfect. I made every shot. You go up and throw the ring, and then you turn to leave, and bam, they're hitting you with the jump scare right in the face. I thought that was neat.
It's
good.
in California. Dax, you know what I'm talking about? It's in California. I want to throw out here. We got Dax here, and we got Funko here. They brought out a few things.
I saw.
Dax is saying we should go to Warrior's Haunted House.
I know. I've heard of it. I've also heard of the Hills Have Eyes too.
If we ever get one of those Saturdays, I know Hills Have Eyes has South, and that's around the Milwaukee area. So that's kind of a drive for us. That's over 2 hours. We generally stick around a 2 hour radius around
because some of us got to work in the morning on Sunday.
Yeah, but it sounds like we may be able to get a potentiality of getting some Saturdays off, so maybe we can head out early, maybe hit some haunts down south. We got a lot of people recommending Hills Have Eyes. We got people recommending Abandoned Complex, I believe.
Yep. And
there's a lot of recommendations down there. We do want to go down there. It's just when the schedule permits it, is all I'm going to say.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, it's really important. It's really important that you take every opportunity you can to engage your customer, right? You talk about that with the interactive rooms. We talk about that with the ticket booth, keeping the anticipation up. I think that's super, super, super important. And actually, that is the one thing I was thinking about today. I was thinking about that today because I told you I wanted to make sure I brought something to the table to discuss when we came on live here. And for me, that's the most important part of the haunt, is that ticket booth, that anticipation, that interaction with your customer right at the start, right from the get-go, right? And that, to me, again, you can't overstate it. It really matters. So if I owned a haunt, if money wasn't an issue, well, we all know money's always going to be an issue. So either way, regardless, if I owned a haunt, if I was building a haunt, the first thing I would make certain is, of course, this is all assuming I have my actors, I have my layout, I have all that stuff.
Those are very important things.
Yeah, that. I won't even talk about that, because without that, you don't have a haunt.
Without actors, I mean, for example, the Terror and the Fox, when we went through the house, how empty that was.
Yep. You can have all the animatronics in the world, but they're just not scary.
It's that human interaction. No one wants to call a customer care line and get a robot. They want to speak to a person.
Yep, yep. Well, Chat GPT is going to replace you one of these days, boy.
That GPT is going to be an actor in a hunt. Oh my god! Imagine that. That would be. That sounds like a fun idea for a room. I'm just saying, someone can pull that off. I know they can. There's creative people out there.
So, the first thing for me, like I said, is the ticket.
The 17th floor.
The first thing for me is that ticket booth. Sure. And is making absolutely certain that I have it hammered out. That I communicate everything about my haunt right there. Boom. What's the scare level? What's the age rating? What's the price? Do I offer any special ticket packages? Any of that stuff. It's right there. Can I get an initial jump scare on you with somebody in the booth, behind the booth, from behind you when you're not paying attention? That's all right there. That is all super important. That would be, if I was building a haunt, that'd be my number one focus to begin with. The second thing I'd focus on is making sure my first room either told a story or scared the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would make sure that my last room was the scariest.
That's the important. It's like the important part of any essay you write. I've made that. I made that correlation before. It's important. The first and last ones are the big bangs.
Hit them with a hot
that doesn't
intro,
mean
get them excited. Tell them what you're gonna do, and deliver, and then
now
finish strong.
I know this just sounds like us kissing Green Bay Fear's ass, which is rightfully deserved sometimes. But I've always loved their intro with skits, and they mix up with other people, and they do a great job. Now, is it the same thing over and over most of the time? Yes. Yeah. Does it get repetitive? Yes. But at least it sets up the story and, the purpose of going into the hunt.
My brother and I were talking about this. He said Green Bay Fear, out of all the haunts in the area, he said Green Bay Fear is the only haunt that comes close to having a story. Remember,
100%.
I'm talking about in the Green Bay area. I'm not talking about Camp Tapawingo. I'm not talking
That's
about
what I want to touch on,
those other ones. I'm talking about in the Green Bay area. Green Bay Fear is the only haunt that even comes close to having a story.
Realistic.
That is consistent.
Realistically, it's with the other haunt. Does Terror and the Fox, they don't really strike home with the story, don't they?
They don't have a story. No.
They don't. It's just, vampire season.
Vampires are hot, so we'll do vampires, which I understand. As a businessman, I totally understand that, and I'd do the same damn thing.
I really, and as we're talking about Terror and the Fox, I brought this up earlier. They're not having any summer events now. Again, summer just started. So they might have something coming up.
Is this a new section of the live stream? Are we going into theories and predictions now?
Did you want to touch anything else?
Do you want to talk about theories and predictions? Because that's great.
This is just a theory / prediction.
Okay, so we'll talk about your theory / prediction, and then I'll give some theories and predictions for this year.
Exactly, Funko. That's what I'm saying. I hope it's better, and that's what's got me leading me to believe I do not see any summer events for Terror and the Fox, and that's leading me to believe, could be wrong, that's leading me to believe that there is potential renovations going on right now, because they've been pretty quiet. I follow them on Instagram. I look at any kind of updates. I like to make sure I'm keeping that local haunt, make sure everything's going on, and I don't see anything going on their page. It's really getting me excited. I hope they change some things up because it really needs it. They know how to make good scenery. They've done it plenty of times. I know they have the skill for it. They have the creativity. They just haven't been able to execute upon it as of late. And, corporate, that's our assumption. But like I said, hey, there's no summer events. Again, summer just started, so I could be dead wrong. They could announce something tomorrow. But I'm really hoping that we're making some renovations, and we're going to be pleasantly surprised in the 2023 season. I had to check the year.
All right. So this is the prediction section of the live stream. Now, I'm going to make some predictions about some haunted houses this year.
Okay.
Is that cool?
We should do some predictions for all haunts, but go ahead. I want to hear yours.
These are not based on any. These are not based on any, like, anything I've heard from haunt workers or scare actors or anything. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
This is all just, you do like fun little like spoiler predictions. That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I think Green Bay Fear's house is going to be mostly the same. That's not like it's going to be the same. That's my prediction. But I think they're gonna surprise in the Funhouse, just like they did previously. And I think they're going to surprise in the Forest this year. Red Fox, welcome to the stream. And I think they're gonna surprise in the Forest section this year. Revenge. This is their quote unquote final season. Correct, Gage?
Correct.
And I think they're going to have a show that will be probably the wildest shit they've ever done. I know they're losing a few actors this year, but I also saw last year when we were there doing the stand-up with them the night before the show opened, I noticed that they had some new actors that they didn't have the year before. So I know they're losing some and gaining some. I think this is going to be their wildest year yet. Burial Chamber, I don't think will change. Boo, Justin. I don't care. Boo, Justin.
Well, I don't think so either.
I think Burial Chamber.
I think it's a cash grab at this point.
But dude, let me ask you this though. Do you
Okay.
blame them for real?
I don't, because every time we go there, they're always got to line out to the street.
Seriously.
So they make money.
Do you blame them? Would you do it any differently? Because I wouldn't if I was in that position. If I had something that worked and worked every year consistently and had people lining up to come through the doors consistently, it's not, I mean, dude, do I blame them? No. Do I like it? Also no. So I don't think they're going to change. And unfortunately, my prediction for Terror on the Fox is I don't think they're going to change as much as we want. But I think we will see some new things because I know the actors have spirit and I know the actors care and I know they're passionate there. We know some of the actors personally. And like for me, right? Those people care about those jobs and those positions. And these are people, mind you, that not only are they working those scare actor positions, but they've also worked 40-hour work weeks, most of them. I mean, dude, that's commitment. That's passion. You know what I mean? So I know the actors care. The people that work there care. I just don't know if we're going to get as much as we want out of them. I want to be wrong about the last prediction. I really want to be wrong about the last prediction. Yeah.
Fox also came here and said the Forest Home. I've never heard of this place.
I saw it. Oldest active
saw-
cemetery in Milwaukee County, gives tours, all that good stuff.
They got a website. So they got a website and they do some tours as well. At least I did when I worked there for like 5 years ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
So active cemetery. So when they say active cemetery, is this a haunt? Like, do they jump out at you and scare you? Is this like a haunted house kind of layout, but like a trail?
I have no idea if it's a
cemetery. I like because I've never heard of this.
It's a cemetery. It's probably not a haunted house.
That's what I'm thinking because if there's they don't want to do that to like to respect the dead there. I mean, I could be wrong, but
I mean, if you want to go do a haunted house in a cemetery, you just come to my you just come to my bedroom after I drop ass. There's all kinds of dead shit in there.
Jesus Christ. If we do end up heading south on a Saturday, and if time permits it, I would love to check it out. That's all I can really say. I can't guarantee much when it comes to down there because again, that's about 2 hours or over for us.
my main haunt that I want to hit this year. Here we go. Anticipated haunts. Here we go. We'll talk about that.
Mhm.
It's a walking tour, but there's ghost stories about some of the residents. Nice.
I feel like
Nice.
that'll be a fun off-season thing.
Yeah, that would be definitely something I would do with you, like in the off season for to do like a video and stuff on.
Yeah, that'll be
my,
worth a check out.
my most
We'll look it up.
anticipated haunt for this year. I know somebody's gonna be like, I want you to come down to Abandon, or I want you to come here. I still want to go to the Tannery, the Berlin Tannery.
Ooh,
If anybody's gone to the Berlin Tannery and actually experienced it, like all three haunts, I would love to know your thoughts on it in the comments.
definitely. We've been wanting to go. Well, we wanted to go last year.
We
but...
had the whole weekend planned basically around it last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the weekend we were going to go, I called him like, hey, I just want to make sure the haunts are open tonight. And, hi, Jamie. Welcome to the stream. And,
Hey, Jamie.
And the guy's like...
Hey, Jamie's here. Sorry, I get excited.
And the guy's like, well, only one of the haunts is open this weekend. What?
Hey, thanks, bye.
I'm like, well, hey, thank you so much. Have a great night. And I'm just like, if I had driven an hour and a quarter, hour and a half, and found out that only one of the three haunts advertised was open, I would have been kind of pissed.
I'm glad you called, because I would have been pissed, because I'm driving that.
Well, that's why you always call before you drive that far, dude. I'm just like, come on, bro.
I've heard about the Hills Have Eyes. I've heard good things. I do want to check it out. And that's around the abandoned area, I'm pretty sure.
Dude,
so maybe we get
a lot of people go
both.
down there and they hit both in the same night. I mean, that's fine. As long as you run
Fast passes,
as long as
get
you
right
run
through
fast
it.
pass on both of them, it doesn't really matter. Still be home by 11 o'clock.
Here's the best part about
earlier.
doing spooky stuff. I mean, doing that stuff during the weekend, late at night. There's like no one on the roads, so it's so easy to drive back. Now, this is for me personally, but
Oh no,
and
I'm
you know
with
how,
you, dude. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So I mean, as much as it sucks getting home around 12 or 1, and I'm not going to shoot for that, Justin. We're going to try and get home earlier, obviously, because I know you got work.
It's not happening this year. I guarantee it.
Yeah, but it's still nice. It's always a nice drive. And personally, myself, a little bit off topic, it's such a vibe. I love night drives when nobody's around, especially on country roads.
Yeah.
Only thing you gotta watch out for is deer, obviously,
Yeah,
but it's so nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, off topic.
Well, yeah, for sure.
If
I think we are gonna try to take a weekend and say, hey, this is the Saturday we're doing it. I'm gonna be out of my work by 2:30, 3 o'clock. You know, get home, shower,
maybe even get off.
whatever. No,
Maybe if someone shows up to work,
he's dead.
I know he's dead.
But my point is,
Maybe he's like, dude, shit.
but my point is, I get done with work, get home, and catch a little half-hour cat nap, get a shower, you know, get something to eat in me, grab some snacks, some water, whatever. We can get out of town by, man, I'm thinking if we got out of town by 4 o'clock, no reason whatsoever that we couldn't be at one of those destinations by 6:30 or 7. Get the fast pass, get through, out of there by 7:45 at the latest. And then go to the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Get home by 11. There's no reason we can't. I was thinking about that, so.
If we're talking predictions,
My number one prediction is also a hope. I hope Revenge scares the shit out of me this year. It's always like one of my most excited haunts. It always gets me excited every year when we go. I love taking people to that haunt and saying you're going to get the fucking shit scared out of you, and walking out of there and going, I was right, wasn't I? And they all look at me and they all say, yup.
My prediction, the top haunt for 2023, Realm of Darkness.
You think so?
I think so.
Do you think the boys are going to let us down? Do you think?
I don't think so. They are so smart.
They are.
I'm not trying to be a kiss ass, but they're younger than me.
They're younger than you.
And they're like twice my IQ. Like the way they can like wire shit and get things set up. I am really excited to see them in a place they know they can permanently stay in.
Yeah, that's important,
and,
dude. Knowing that you have like a place to call home, that's important for a haunt.
And just thinking, because when they know they can call it home, they know they can build something big, heavy, and it's going to stay there, and they know it's not going anywhere else.
Yeah.
And let's just go ahead and say how good for them that is, because buying property these days sucks.
Let's
Yeah,
give them I give them a round of applause. They deserve it. Dude.
definitely.
Dalton and Ben, you guys deserve it. Realm of Darkness. And you know, now that you
They-
mention that, I completely forgot that not only do they have a new space, but they just dropped a new trailer on the Facebook showing off their.
You guys should check.
Yeah, you guys make sure you get over to the Realm of Darkness Facebook page, I think it is, and they have advertisements, very very short video showing off their like.
I'd say it's a teaser. It's a teaser.
Super
It looks like a waiting room.
All it is their waiting area. That's
And it looks banging.
It
looks
does
cool.
look banging, dude.
Like,
Hey, so speaking of things that look banging, I want to talk to you about something that we encountered
oh,
at this last. I want to take an in-depth discussion on something that we encountered at Green Bay Fear during this last event, Revenge of the '80s Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
How awesome was that?
we could spoil it. We could say it. It's
No,
past.
no. How awesome was that fog? Seriously.
Like
that fog.
for the theme of the '80s slasher.
Like the movie The Fog. Bro, it was done so well. The whole time I was walking through there.
Imagine having that fog and keeping like creature speakers in like the forest, and there's gotta be anything there just like to set up the ambiance and shit like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And like the whole time I'm walking through the woods, I'm just like, this fog needs to be here every night they have the haunt.
Mm-hmm.
Like for real.
Like they
Because-
crank that shit up, and it's not just because we've had wildfires here. This was actual fog.
No, this was no. You're right. No, you're totally right. This was before the wildfires were ever a thing.
Well, no, it was during, but I mean, it wasn't during the smoke that was here. It was clear.
We didn't have the smoke yet. We had clear nights, and I mean, this stuff was thick. There were times where like I'm coming around corners and I'm like, okay, I can barely see at all. As it got darker, the ambiance and the atmosphere was so good. Brie, you're totally right. The atmosphere and the ambiance and everything with the fog was so good. It was awesome. And it literally had me saying, so look at this kind of a special effect, right? And I'm sure there's some money that goes into creating. I know they have fog machines and you got to pay to run those and stuff. But for a relatively low cost, look at the cool effect that provides. Green Bay Fear can do that, so why can't... I'm just trying not to continuously make that comparison. It's hard not to, because it's an easy comparison to make.
It really is, and we really want them to succeed. I want to see it because we love their actors.
Yeah, I just really want to see succeed.
It almost feels like a swear word around here at this point.
Yeah, but yeah, Jamie, I agree with you. I mean, there's so much you can do with that, and I feel like you're leaving atmosphere on the table, which is a terrible thing to do if you're running a haunted house. You're leaving atmosphere and setup and ambiance on the table, and you're depriving your customers of a really bitchin' effect. I think so.
And not only that, let's think about the other like passive things it does. It stops you from seeing what's up ahead, as in like the next scare area, the next stage, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next group ahead, so nothing gets spoiled for you. The fogs are, now I'm not saying they're underrated because they're in most haunts, but crank that shit up to 11. All right, overdo it. It's fine.
Well,
if somebody.
Especially when you're outside. Even you said to me when we were walking through, what did you say to me? You said, well, earlier in the night before the fog got thick, I could see the actors.
I sound just like that too, by the way.
You do. You sound just like you're standing there next to me. You're like, hey, bro. Before it got dark out, I could see the actors coming for the scares. I'm like, well, stop looking for them then. You're like me going through.
That's me. I'm supposed to.
You're ruining all the scares.
Looks like they're having events through the end of September this year. The open doors are set in September is pretty good. There's food, beer, and actors. Okay. Like I said, in September for an off-season thing, that might be worth a trip. I know the girls would love it.
Yo, XN3, what's up? Welcome.
Hey, XM, let's go. We got
Yeah.
more people here. That makes me excited. I'm glad to
that's
see some guys
That
in
was
there.
something that I wanted to make sure we touched on because you mentioned that to me, right? You were like, you know, as soon as the fog got thick, bro, I couldn't see those actors, and it made those scares better. And even the last time we went through, now we've been through the woods 3 times. They had a sound scare that actually made me jump because I couldn't see the actor. But then when I looked, I could kind of make them out, like sitting in the brush down there. And I'm just like, bro, you are dedicated.
You talk about the guy with the drill one?
Yeah, it got me.
I know what
It
you're
got
talking
me,
about. Yeah,
dude.
I remember
I
now.
was like, what the fuck? It got me, dude. So my point is, right, you have things to your advantage. One of the better scares, I know, can't believe I'm saying this. One of the better scares at the morgue. Yeah, I know. I'm throwing you for a loop here.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say burial chamber for a minute.
No. I actually almost did, and then I forgot it wasn't them. One of the better scares at the morgue before they closed down was you're walking through the woods, and they had a foggy overlay, and then they had one bright light in the distance, and it was real bright. So all you can see is this bright light with
I know what you're talking about.
Spraying through the fog.
Yeah.
And then we're walking with our buddy Shaquin, and all of a sudden you hear, and this guy comes running, hauling ass through the fog right into you. Like right in your face. And Shaquin's on the ground screaming like a little girl. I mean, he's a 20-year-old man at the time, but he's screaming like a little girl. And it was so funny. And it was a great scare. Because as soon as I saw the light in the fog, I'm like, somebody's coming through that fog.
You know the best part about that? I remember exactly that event you're talking about.
Yep.
I was with Shaquin, and we're like, we're not scared.
Yeah,
y'all
were talking mad shit.
We're not scared.
And
we ran up to the light.
As soon as you did that, this dude chainsaws, and y'all beeline the other way. It was A+.
They used that light perfectly.
Yeah. But that's, again, going on to Jamie's comment about the strobes and the light and the fog. That is important, and you can do so much if you put that stuff in the right position. We were just talking about making sure to use your atmosphere and use your tools to your advantage, and it's a great way to do it. Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of any other another thing that was really sad is the Trail of Terror. Is that what it's called? Terror on the Trail?
Yeah.
The one...
Oh my God, my heart.
Yeah, what a big rip for that one. F's in chat, guys. I had to say for that. But yeah, F's in chat here.
I'll even give an F in the chat for them.
You're gonna put an F in chat?
I put
Okay.
an F in the chat for them, dude. They deserve it. So let's talk about. That's how we're gonna end the stream tonight. We're gonna end the stream. We're gonna end the stream. Talk about Terror on the Trail because I feel like
in memoriam.
I feel like there's a good story here. So, Terror on the Trail in Okano, about 30-minute drive, 30-minute drive.
It's a little past Revenge.
We were
if you're going up north.
We were reading reviews because I think you and I were talking about going to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, what about Terror on the Trail? And you're like, oh, what about this Terror on the Trail? Mm-hmm. So we went and started reading these reviews. This was like one of the only times that I feel the reviews were wrong for Haunted House. Like
it's a haunted trail, to be fair.
Well, here's the thing, right? If you have like 1 or 2 negative reviews, you can usually gloss over them, provided that it's not like
probably just some bad
an actor shoved my kid into a tree. Okay, now we have a problem.
Yeah.
But when it's consistently negative reviews, it's kind of like, I'm not going to go to this haunt. Or I'm not expecting very much. So we went to this Terror on the Trail.
We were expecting a stinker.
We were expecting like actors.
We wanted to get ready for our first really shit
ever,
on video.
First ever, like, except it wasn't.
I like how it's muffling and blurring you out because
so-
it doesn't think you're talking when you say
So anyway, I remember getting there, getting our ticket. We sit there for a little while. Then they call our number. They come get us at the car, which I thought was cool. I think this was the year after COVID.
They text us. Yeah,
they texted us, and we went up to the booth. They're like, okay, you can go take a seat at the bonfire, and they'll take you in when you're ready. And I'm just like, okay. Sit at the bonfire, we're hanging out. I'm texting my girl, whatever. You're talking to Jenna, whatever it is you were doing. And
Jenna wasn't there. It was just you and I.
yeah, I know. You're texting her or whatever.
I was just sitting there staring at the fire, feeling like,
and
oh, fuck. I'm just thinking I'm getting in the mood. Go ahead.
And we're watching these guys take these people into the woods.
They don't come out.
Well, I'm afraid of the dark as it is. So I already know this is going to have me on edge, even if this is the worst haunt I've ever been to. They're going to get me with a jump scare because I'm afraid of the dark. So they get us. They're not in operation anymore, so we can talk about it, right? Yeah, we don't have to.
Yeah.
Be,
oh yeah, 100%.
We don't have to be quiet about it. We can say whatever we want. They come get us. They bring us in. We're crawling through tubes, getting chased by little girls, like kids, not like 5-year-olds, but like 16, 15-year-olds, like paddling after us and like snarling at us, chasing us through these tubes. These kids were in character. And the girl wasn't like, go through here. She just stood there and just went like this. Silently. I mean, this kid was so in character. It blew my mind. So we went through these little tubes. And this other one, there's these 3 little clown girls laying on the ground, all dressed up as clowns. I'm like, oh, you 2 are having a bad day. You 3 are having a bad day. As we walk by, they all sit up and don't move. Then they turn and look at us and get up and just come like beelining for us and like surround us. I get it, right? They can't hurt me. But like, this was a good show. And we get into the tent and they got us distracted while the one dude comes running through the opening with a chainsaw. I mean, it was a excellent show.
They could touch you, by the way, in that haunt. They could. It was put on there that they will touch you. It's like Spooks and Spread.
Well, yeah, because they were like grabbing at our feet and stuff.
They were.
Yeah. So this is all stuff, right? That they were just killing the whole night. I'm like, how do these guys have so many bad reviews? I mean, unless their actors were just like one night like, fuck it, I don't want to do my job. I don't know. But man, dude, I'm telling you, when I walked out of that haunt, I remember looking at you and saying, it is a shame these guys are closing down.
That's a great way to segue into Jamie's comment here. He says, I never go by reviews. Personal experience is the only way. Customers are always quick to say negative things and make them seem like big news. Then they nitpick on things they have no relevance. Relevance. Okay.
He means relevance. And I agree with Jamie on that too.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of like, I go and read some Terror on the Fox negative reviews. Wait, I'm sorry. I go read some Terror on the Fox negative reviews, and some of their negative reviews, I'm like, really?
It's a bit exaggerated.
I'm like, that is exaggerated. Knock it off. I'm like, if you're gonna write a negative review, please have a good reason for it. Like, make sure
not just because it was scary or it was. Yeah. I forgot the other ones. They were just like they were being mean to me, and I'm like, well, some of the actors are supposed to be mean to you.
Yeah,
that's
the actors aren't supposed to be like, oh, I'm so happy you came out to see me. They're supposed to try to like scare you and intimidate you.
Some roast you. We went to Scary USA, and that one guy was roasting the hell out of me.
Dude, I mean, like, they just, like, they shit all over us at Scary USA. The dude was, like, just laying into us. He's like, I got 2 McChickens waiting for me in the break room after y'all get your stupid asses out of here. And I'm just laughing my ass off. I'm like, I've never had somebody talk to me. And here's the thing. They didn't talk to me and, like, all of a sudden, like, apologize. about it real quick, you know, like, oh no, like I'm just joking, guys. Don't take it seriously. Like they hammered on us. No apologies. No, have fun. None of that shit. Like, yeah, maybe you'll have fun if you get your stupid asses out of here. And it was just, it was like, it was the best roast I've ever had in a haunt. It was,
so you,
he might be asking about or maybe Terror on the Trail of Terror in
Trail of
Oconto.
Terror, it's one of them. They were. That's such a rip, dude. I love. It was like, yes, the actors were on point, but not only that though, too. It felt like an obstacle course. Like you had to crawl through.
Dude, that was intense shit.
It
I
was.
remember
It felt
coming
like
through that going, oh man, I ain't as young as I once was.
It's like a drill sergeant bearing down you to crawl through the muck and stuff at some point. Obviously, you weren't crawling through muck. You were crawling through some
it wasn't like one of
Trail
those
of Terror.
Yeah,
that sounds right.
and it wasn't like one of those things where they're like, oh come on, get down here and crawl down. It was like, and I think if you were old, they would let you like walk around.
Yeah.
And, like,
I'm
pretty sure.
Like if you say I got bad knees or something like that, because
Yeah.
I do want to also point out in that haunt, I saw a lot of the comments saying how it wasn't safe. Now, I don't know if maybe when they made it in the reviews, they said the reviews it wasn't safe. I don't know if in the reviews they didn't have the guy we had, but when we were going through it, there was a guy.
That might be why he took such care of everything.
Yeah, he had a flashlight, and he pointed and told you as we're going through the haunt. Sure, it's kind of immersion breaking, but it's worth it because you want to be safe as you go through these haunts. He's pointing out stumps. He's telling you to go this way and I got lost. You remember that? I walked one way. He says, "Hey, this way," and I'm like, "Oh, my fault," because it's a woods. You're gonna get lost in that, and they just did so well, and it's a shame. I really wish I could have saw
more. And there could be some stuff that happened. People easily could have tripped. Dude,
and maybe that's why he's there.
Let me ask you this: How possible is it that you have somebody get scared and go running off up ahead and then turn back and like look at everybody and be like, "I'm not coming back there," and then they trip and stumble over a log or something backwards? Dude, that can happen. It happens all the time. It happens to woodsmen. If it happens to me in broad daylight trout fishing, it can happen to somebody in the dark in the woods at a haunted house. So
yeah, I mean, we always say that's a liability on the consumer, but there's so much gray area that I'm no lawyer, so I'm not going to go into it. But yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. I would be if I was running a haunt, I would be very cautious about having anything like that in my pathways, and that would all be cleared out or cut out. I would never take that chance anymore because people are so happy, and all it takes is one lawsuit to ruin something that you worked your whole life on.
Rainbows, Brooks, and Bronies.
all of them red. Yeah, I was thinking about that haunt actually today at work, and I was like, Terror on the Trail will forever be my like haunt that deserves a resurrection.
I would love to see just a comeback. That would be it would be like Undertaker coming from the coffin.
It'd be better than Twinkies.
It would be better than sex.
Wait, what? No, it wouldn't be that good.
No, oh okay, sorry. Hey, I feel like Terror on the Trail is a great way. A Trail of Terror is a great way to end this.
It is. It's a really great. It's a good memory for good haunted houses that maybe had a bad rap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe somebody had a really bad night and it ruined their experience. But
mostly that. I can see it. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm replying to comments.
So at the end of the day, we talked about what I felt was the most important part of the haunted house. We talked about some of our predictions for haunt season, and of course, RIP to Trail of Terror. When the video goes live, we want to get your guys' thoughts in the comments. on the different haunts in the Green Bay and surrounding areas in Wisconsin. Like the video if you guys enjoyed this live stream like this, and we'll probably at some point here be back for another one later in the season as we get closer to October. Now, Gage, there is one question people want the answer to in the chat.
Is it scary in Wisconsin?
You tell us. I'm Justin, joined by my best friend Gage. We'll see you guys right here next time